The cultural dynamics of finance in some ways were fairly easy to look at. What you had, using my anthropology background and training, was a group of people who spoke a language which was utter gobbledygook to everybody else in the planet. This was called the language of CDO, CDS, etc., etc. I remember going to a banking conference in 2005, sitting in a dark conference hall and thinking, this is as weird as a Tajik wedding. I went to a lot of Tajik wedding rituals when I was an anthropologist. And by the way, investment banking conferences play exactly the same functional role for financial community as a wedding in Tajikistan. It's a way of getting together a scattered tribe, pulling them together through rituals and all kinds of symbols to not merely, in the case of a wedding, help pave the way to physical reproduction, i.e. babies, but social and cultural reproduction, because the sheer act of getting together and engaging in rituals reinforces social ties and invokes all kinds of symbols which actually reflect the worldview of financiers. And the worldview of financiers that I saw was very much about this elite tribe who had mastery of this gobbledygook jargon language that no one else understood, of extreme complexity. They use complexity as a weapon to basically make themselves feel like an elite tribe apart, cut apart from others who nobody else was expected to peer into and have a look at. And they had a very distinctive creation mythology, which was all about the theory of liquefaction, that these complex financial instruments were going to create the perfect liquid market that would benefit everyone, which today looks like a completely insane thing to argue given the financial crisis. At the time, I can't stress this strongly enough, they told themselves that they believed it. They may not have completely believed it, but it was very convenient to think that they believed it. So the issue was partly that the bankers were very elite, tribal, fragmented. Most people inside banks had no idea what they were up to, which is the ever-present problem of technological complexity. But the problem was also that the media and politicians thought that precisely because they'd wrapped their craft in technological complexity and jargon, that they didn't really have much incentive to look into it either. And the reason is very simple. If you want to hide something in broad daylight today, then the easiest way to do it is not to create a James Bond style plot and bury it in the ground somewhere. It's to simply wrap it up in our acronyms and jargon and mathematics, and then it will be hidden in plain sight by virtue of the fact that everyone else will look away because we culturally label that as boring, geeky, and dull. And that is absolutely what was going on in the financial system before 2007.